What's up, everybody? It's Pikel with League of Items, and we had a plus 700 Rogue Warriors team take down Top Esports last night. So after the first three games went according to plan, FPX won 2-0, and Top Esports won the first game of their match. Had a lead in the second game, threw that away, and then game 3, Rogue Warriors had a lead, threw it away. Top Esports had the lead, threw it away, and then Rogue Warriors finished off the win. And yesterday in my video, I knew I wasn't feeling great. I kind of explained everyone's going to be playing FPX Top Esports. And in my Discord, I was kind of saying in order for one of these games to get weird, you really need someone to have like 20 kills and a loss. And that's basically what Top Esports did in that second game of the second match. And this is why you play big tournaments and make a bunch of different kinds of lineups, because I chopped 42nd. That was my best lineup. It was a 3-3-1. So I had Rogue Warriors, I had Forge, I had Knight. Not the best lineup. The best lineup yesterday was a game stack. Wow, that was so close. So they had LWX as their captain from the first series, and then they had 5 players from the second match. This is the kind of lineup where you don't generally expect it to do really well, but because of variance, you can get a first place finish, because it's basically you're doing a 3-3-1 with Jackie Love as the captain and then LWX as the captain. You just swap them around because you're just trying to get unique lineups. So Sean Zan, it's a really good lineup if he's trying to be different and get a unique first, and that's what he did. So congrats to him. That's a nice 20K win. Before we move on to tomorrow's games, I guess the thing to kind of think about would be Top Esports. So in the top lane, Ziv against 369. 369 didn't look like he played very well, and Ziv did a good job. Like, I don't think Ziv could have accomplished that on his own. There was, I think, a solo kill at one point, but there was also a pause during the middle of it, so that's kind of strange. You don't normally see something like that. Haro, we all know that Haro is a good carry jungler. I'm high on Haro relative to most people because he's a very good Nidalee player, and Top Esports gave Haro Nidalee 3 games in a row. Personally, that's the kind of thing where if I was coaching the team, I would want to take away who I would consider their best or their most impactful player's best champion. Forge did a good job against Knight, but I think honestly that Top Esports did a really bad job in draft. Victor is a champion that I haven't really been a big fan of. I know it's really popular right now, but this is another spot where popularity doesn't equal power level, because a lot of these guys go around in solo queue, and you can have some crazy plays on Victor where you could potentially solo carry a game. But in an organized team fight, the short range of Victor can be an issue sometimes. I'm not saying it's a bad champion, but for someone like Knight, I just don't think it's the right kind of champion for Knight. More playmaking ability, more mobility is really, I think, better. Because basically what happened is they had Nidalee, who was able to go towards the top side of the map, and they had Twisted Fate, who was able to dive on the top lane. They had a nice play in the top lane that created a big advantage, taking first tower with Rift Herald, killing 369, killing Karsa. They ended up trading it for a dragon, but it was still a pretty good play. Overall, they built up a gold lead that they eventually threw away, but Rogue Warriors did a good job. So at this point, you have to kind of compare Rogue Warriors from last year to this year. So they have Keelan now, they have Betty, who will probably end up taking that starting job. Ziv was an upgrade, I think. I do think that Ziv is a good player, a lot of experience, isn't intimidated by a lot of the other players because he's played against a lot of these players at Worlds before, or at least their caliber of player at Worlds. Haro, I think everyone will eventually agree with me that he's very good in this carry jungle meta. I don't know what he's like in any other kind of meta. I've never seen him in any other kind of meta. Forge is an okay player. I think this is on the higher end of outcomes for them. I don't expect them to go toe-to-toe with Knight all the time. I think that's mostly because of the champion matchups that we had. And then in the bot lane, Jackie Love had an amazing play in the first match or second match, and then had a really bad some bad plays as well, but I'm not concerned. It's the high variance play style that makes them very good, so sometimes they're going to fall on their face. And then Zhuo, the new support, played fine, and Chow Chow from Top Esports, who is now on Rogue Warriors, also played well. So I don't think there are many takeaways from this. Some people will probably want to give Rogue Warriors more credit than they deserve. Like, getting this kind of win is amazing for the players, and it's really helpful for them season long, but if they played each other again, or if they play a similar caliber team, I think it'd be a mistake to kind of fall over yourself to play Rogue Warriors. So that's it. So we went over yesterday. Before we get into tomorrow's games, I think that this is going to be my new schedule. I'm going to try to make a video every morning about the games from the day before, and then I'm going to give my first reactions to Draftkings and stuff like that, and then I'm going to save the rest of my analysis for Discord. So in order to get into my Discord server, you need to be a patron. It's $10 a month through Patreon. The link is in the info on the YouTube channel and on all these videos. So it's just a way to help the people who want to help me. So you know, I play in all these things. I think I won $30 last night. That's not why I play Draftkings. I play to come in first place. So my lineups are pretty high variance a lot of the times, and there will be days where I lose a couple $100, and there will be days where I win a couple thousand. So that's just the name of the game. I haven't done much. I haven't done any real bets so far. I don't like using a lot of the sports books that are out there. I just don't trust them. I don't want to use overseas books or anything like that. I'm just waiting until the books in America really start offering these lines. So this is the prediction tool, like I said. So I had FPX and I had Top Esports. Top Esports lost, so right now I'm 3-1. I didn't start using this in time for the first couple matches, so I'm not going to include those. But now we can go into our first 4-game slate of the year, which these are the best slates. I didn't do well in these slates last year. I played the Korean angle a lot, trying to be different from everyone else. So like a lot of people would continuously play favorites, stack the favorites from China, and I would always try to get like the strong Korean team that, like, if they got a 2-0 and one really good win, then they'd have a chance to compete with the Chinese teams. So just keep that in mind. It's just you have to be aware of, like, when you're getting information from someone, what kind of biases do they have. So let's do the Chinese matches first. So first up, Team World Elite against V5. So Team World Elite is minus 263. 263. That's right around 60. Wait, no. 263. That's right around 70%. And then V5 is right around 30%. So World Elite is obviously the big favorite. That's what the money line would suggest. Let's go through the rosters. And this is another thing I'm going to start pushing out again for my Discord users. This is the sheet that I use. And there are multiple ways to build good lineups. Some people like using lineup generators. Personally, I'm not a big fan of lineup generators. I haven't used the one that the esports department has very much. If I was doing 100 lineups, then maybe I would use it, but I'm only doing, like, 10 to 20 lineups plus maybe an entry into a larger contest every once in a while, because I like giving myself 10 to 15 chances to come in first in the larger GPP, because I don't like playing the Triumphant Warrior, risking $333 a day. It's just not my style. Like, I have a full-time job. I'm not trying to pay for DraftKings with my full-time job. I'm trying to let DraftKings build itself up through, like, the other contests. And so far it's worked. So maybe my process is bad on that. I'd be happy to listen to someone who has better numbers than I do about that. But that's just the way that I operate right now. So Basically, in this sheet, I have all the teams in this tab. I have the money line in this tab. The rosters are in this tab. Then the different stacking options are in here. You can change which team you're using as your primary stack using this tool. So for this, we're just going to use Invictus Gaming as the example. In the top right portion of the screen, you can see all these green cells. These are the viable stacks that fit within the salary cap. And again, I'm going to try to, I can't promise anything because life gets in the way sometimes, but I will try to put out my sheet almost every single day. And we should have League of Legends basically 7 days a week for the next couple of months. The other thing I would say is that's basically it. So for Invictus Gaming, if you're looking to play Invictus Gaming tonight, you can stack them with Invictus with V5, Hanwha Life, or KT Rolster for a lot of the normal stacks that you would see. And it's just a way to get your lineup process started. Like, you don't necessarily have to use these lineups. The ones that are the most obvious are the ones that have the highest chance of being duplicated like 50 times. But if you change one or two players from that, you will sometimes make a unique lineup, which is what your goal should be a lot of the time if you're playing multiple lineups. So World Elite versus V5. Breathe against Longshi or allies. We don't know who's going to be starting for V5, so that's a sub risk. Beishang against Weiwei. A lot of people were pretty high on Weiwei last year. Beishang's the better player, in my opinion. Shanks against Mole. I like both of these players. We don't have a lot of information about Shanks. At least I don't. Mole is someone who I was very happy with last year. I like their playstyle. They have some unique champions that they'll pull out, and they also play multiple roles. So they obviously have a very deep understanding of the game, which is always a good thing. Not necessarily going to help you in Draftkings, but if it increases their chances to win the match, then that's something you kind of have to consider. Zhaomeng and Missing against Y4, and everybody's favorite, the PP God. So I like Y4 a lot. I think that SamD, it's probably a downgrade from SamD because SamD went to a different team. I'm assuming that someone was very happy with SamD's performance from last year and decided to just throw some money at him. But like I've said in the past, I don't follow the Chinese news circuit, so I don't know what the exact reasoning was. I don't know if V5 believes in Y4 more than SamD. I doubt that's the case. But yeah, so Zhaomeng and Missing will most likely be better. A lot of people are high on World Elite this year, and I am too. I think that Beishang is a very good jungler, and this is the kind of meta where the jungler is still the most important player on your team. Breathe had a pretty good matchup, has had some good matchups so far this year. Breathe is better than Longshi and allies. Beishang's better. Mid lane's probably even, and then bot lane's probably better for World Elite. So if you want to be different and play V5, I totally understand. I'll almost 100% have more World Elite than V5. That's just the way that I look at it. Trying to think if there's anything else. That's basically it. And then Invictus Gaming against LNG. So this is obviously a huge mismatch. The money line's minus 625, so that's like 90%, I'm assuming. Plus 400 is 20%, so it's probably 80-20, I guess, then. That seems off. So there's a huge VIG on Invictus Gaming. They're trying to disincentivize people from betting on Invictus Gaming, which is smart because they'll lose a lot of money, I think, if they didn't do that. So the Shy is better than Mukuya. Shun had a really good first series in terms of level of play. Tarzan is a very good jungler, though. So Shun is coming from Invictus Gaming Youth, I think. And after watching my video that had like the E-Star and TT matches, you probably realized Invictus Gaming Youth was very good. That's what I knew that, but they were dominant last year. And Shun and Zhuo, ZS, and Captain were all on that team. I don't know who their AD carry was. I forget. But they all had really good years last year. Tarzan is a veteran player from Korea. This is going to be his first match in China. I think Tarzan's very good, but I don't know if LNG is going to be strong enough to go toe-to-toe with Invictus Gaming. I doubt it. Rookie, obviously one of the best mid laners in the world. And then Icon. Icon's a really good mid laner, but that's like relative to the rest of the world. In terms of the LPL, Icon's probably about average. And I think Icon is also a very good Orianna player, so maybe they'll just try to pick Orianna 3 games in a row. I don't think that it creates a winning edge for them, but Icon can definitely at least lane against Rookie without getting blown out of the water. It doesn't mean that Rookie won't blow them out of the water, but I think Icon is pretty good at going even. Then we have Wink against Light. Light was pretty okay last year. Wink had a good first series. I don't think there's a huge edge one way or the other. Invictus Gaming is built around its solo laners, and LNG is built around its jungler. So I guess the question really does come down to the jungle in terms of, is Shun good enough to like make a gigantic difference in this game, even if the team wasn't originally built around them? It was kind of transported or implanted into the team. Implanted, transplanted, one of those. And they're obviously a very skilled player, but how consistent will they be? We just don't know yet. I would assume very good, very consistent, but we can't know that yet. So time will tell. So obviously Invictus Gaming is most likely going to win this matchup. So in order to justify playing LNG, you kind of need to convince yourself that Tarzan is going to... So this is what you would need to say. The Shy will feed. Tarzan will outsmart Shun. Icon will go even with Rookie. And then Light and Awandi will go even or win against Wink and Baolan, which is possible. So I do think that it's possible, but like if you're playing 10 lineups tomorrow, maybe you can justify using LNG once or twice, and you'll probably either match the field or double the field. Probably if you play them in one lineup and you're playing 10 lineups as 10%, I expect their ownership to probably be around 5%, 3 to 5%. So that's fine. You can justify playing them for that reason. Let's go to Korea. So Korea, we have Genji against KT Rolster. Genji has the same lineup from last year. KT Rolster made a bunch of changes. Let's just go lane by lane. Genji's a minus 526 favorite, so that's pretty big. That is about 85%. And this isn't an 85% matchup, so I think that the value is on KT, but Genji is still probably more likely to win. Rascal against Doran. They're about even. Clid against Bonnie or Blank. Clid is the better player, in my opinion. BDD against UCal. BDD is the better player. Ruler against Hybrid. Ruler's the better player. Life against Zeus. I'm not sure, but I think that Life is most likely better. The reason I say that KT has a chance in this matchup and that it shouldn't be 80-20 is because there are a lot of people talking about KT as a team with a lot of potential upside. So I know John from the esports department likes KT a lot. I think it was KT, so I could be wrong, but I think that John likes them a lot, and John is good at this. So you have to kind of trust his opinion. At least not trust it in terms of like follow it blindly, but at least consider it. So, you know, I do prefer Genji here, but because of other people's feelings about KT, I could see myself playing them in maybe 2 lineups, 1 to 2 lineups out of 10. Last match, T1 against Hanwha Life. This is going to be the best match of the night, I think, or I hope, because I like both of these teams going into this year. Kana against Morgan. So everyone, well, not everyone, so let's see. Minus 300, so minus 300, about 75%. I think it's closer than that. Kana had a great year last year. Morgan did not have a great year last year, but Morgan is probably just as good as Kana, at least very close. Cause Elam and Oner, we don't know who is starting. Arthur, Kat, and Johan. T1 has a better jungler. Faker or Closer against Chovy. Chovy is most likely better than both Faker and Closer at this point, but Faker and Closer can both beat Chovy. So it's a pretty close matchup. Teddy and Keria against Deft and Vista. I'm probably the biggest Keria fan that you'll find. So Keria and Teddy, I think, do have an advantage over Deft and Vista, but Deft is a veteran player who will always have chances. I will probably have some exposure to Hanwha Life because of this, but like I said, I prefer T1. It'll be interesting to see how we can build lineups tonight. I haven't gone through that process yet, so I will post that into Discord sometime around like 7, 8, 9 o'clock tonight while I'm building lineups. I have to go to work though, so thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.